in the future. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about some new developments on the reporting side that are interesting and that can bring more value and insight into your data. And I want to talk about those a little bit. Please, anyone who has a question, please go ahead and just maybe type it in the screen, in the chat window, and we'll try to get that answered for you as well. And we'll also have Q&A after. So to start off with, I hope everybody can see my screen okay, that I've got a presentation up here. If anybody can't see it, just let me know. Is that looking good, Ginger? Is that visible?
Yeah, I think it's visible for me. Yes, I think we're good.
Okay, super. So I just wanted to talk today about some new reporting tools that are available if you have the Pinnacle platform. The Pinnacle platform is built upon the Microsoft stack, and so we have all of those tools at your disposal, which are becoming much more mature, and they're covering the whole gamut of ad hoc reporting, targeted BI applications, KPIs, mobile reporting, and things of those natures. So I wanted to just show a few of those new developments today in this webinar and make you aware of these. These are all things that are deployed with our clients to varying degrees. A lot of these are new capabilities, and so we're doing some experimentation with them, but we're very pleased with the progress so far. So if anyone has any interest in talking more about any of these kind of things, then let's just have a conversation, and we can talk to you about how to deploy them. It's very exciting, and I think at the end of this you'll get a good feel for some of the new capabilities within the Microsoft BI reporting stack. And all of these run on top of the Pinnacle Data Warehouse and can be fully integrated into your electronic medical record. So we're going to be looking a little bit today at the reporting server, and we're going to look at kind of the current iteration that many people have, many clients have, and the reporting portal that's currently available. And then we're going to compare it to the new one that's now available. We're going to talk about PowerBI a little bit and some of the capabilities of that. We're going to look at the new version of SQL reporting services, and then we're going to also look at how SQL or how Excel spreadsheets, which are very popular among our clients, can also be deployed within the same ecosystem with all of these other tools. And so there's been a lot of advancement in how all these BI tools can be distributed. So the new report server out there is called PowerBI Report Server, okay? And it's much more of a standalone tool. It can be installed separately from SQL Server. So in the past, we had to install it as part of the SQL Server installation, but now it's been decoupled, and it's its own application, and it can be updated, and it can be completely kept separate. And so there was a new update at the end of August for PowerBI Report Server that brought some pretty large advancements to the product, and that could just be installed as a new update. So it's called the PowerBI Report Server. That's the official Microsoft name. And we're going to show that to you a little bit. Greatly expanded capability. There's a new report builder that it supports for paginated reports and dashboards, and that's kind of the term that Microsoft is using now for SQL reporting services. Reports is paginated reports, and so that's kind of the term that is being used. The other big thing with Power BI Report Server is it allows on-premise deployment for Power BI dashboards. So prior to this, if you were interested in using Power BI, you had to use the cloud service, and that's still available, and that's a great service. But there was a lot of concern from especially healthcare agencies because it required you to send your data up to the cloud, and then it would pull your refreshed data across the network up to the cloud. And it had some great capabilities, but that made people kind of nervous, and so they wanted an on-premise, or at least in a private cloud, they wanted their Power BI. So that's now a possibility, and we're going to look at that a little bit. So on-premise deployment for Power BI. There's also a new mobile report builder, and some of you maybe have seen this, and we've talked to a few of you about this. This is creating optimized reports for mobile devices using the data warehouse and your Power or your business intelligence data. And this is an acquisition that Microsoft made from a company called DataZen, and it's quite an interesting tool. We're starting to use it a little bit, and I'll show you just a simple use of that today. That's for mobile reports. There's also a new KPI function that you can build KPIs right within this same ecosystem. And so users can come in, and if you have KPIs and you have different metrics that you want people to see at a glance, you can also just distribute those. And I'll look at that as well. The other thing that's interesting now is you can deploy Excel workbooks. And so if you have a bunch of Excel dashboards that you've built, you can also deploy them through this same report server, this PowerBI report server. And so you have at your fingertips all of these new capabilities and in one central report and BI portal. So it can be integrated with your electronic medical record, so you can run reports out of your electronic medical record, but you can also have this standalone BI portal with a very rich ecosystem to see metrics and performance management and things of that nature. And of course, you know, as always, you can do lots of data integration. That's something that we do more and more of all the time. So, you know, this portal can be a way for you to view all of the data across the entire organization with various data integration options. So with that, I wanted to go ahead and shift my screen here and share a different screen. And if anyone has any questions or any comments, please feel free to shoot those over. Okay.
I don't see any right now, Shawn, just so you know.
Okay.
Okay.
So what you're seeing on your screen now, this is the current or the standard kind of Power BI, or not Power BI, but reporting services web portal. Okay, and you can see this, and it has folders all over it, and it has reports, and everything here represents an SSRS report. Okay, so that's all you can do here are build SSRS reports, and those look pretty standard, and you can build those. You can access Report Builder, but that's really all you can do in this version. This, I think, is like the 2014 version. And so it's great, and you can do folders and folder security, but it's fairly limited as to what kind of things you can do here. And so with the new Power BI report server, that all changes, and you can do a lot more and a lot more varied things. And let me show that to you now.
Oh, hey, Shawn, folks are asking if you could maybe zoom in a little bit. Will it let you zoom in?
I think so. Let me. Okay. So there's a little bit more zoomed, and you can see there's just folders here, and you can organize things in folders. And this is great, but limited. So the new version of this is called the Power BI report server. I'm going to show that to you now, and here it is. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. You can see that this looks a lot different. Okay, so you can see that this looks a lot different, and the whole interface has been redesigned. I'm going to hide a couple things here for ease of use here. Okay, so this has been completely redesigned, and it has a lot more features. Okay, so starting from the top here, you can see that we can now deploy KPIs right through this portal, and we'll talk a little bit about what these are. And you can have an unlimited number of these. You can organize these into folders. So as this becomes a central repository for data, you can post maybe your 10 or 15 most important KPIs. You can have trend indicators. You can have status indicators. You know, are encounters going up? Are they going down? You can add goals and trends and things like that. So for people who are just interested in seeing kind of a snapshot of what's going on right now, you could put out a bunch of these KPIs right here and see at a glance how some of your most important metrics are doing. Those are KPIs. The other thing you can deploy, of course, are Power BI reports and Power BI dashboards. And we're going to look at some of these in a moment. And this is kind of the new hot BI tool for Microsoft. You can deploy these right out of the Power BI tool right to this server. Everything stays on premise. These can be hooked up to your cubes in the data warehouse. Runs very, very quickly. There's no need to send data to the cloud or anything like that. You can also develop mobile reports, and we're going to look at those as well. And these are reports that are optimized for mobile devices or smartphones. So you can see the difference in the layout and the capabilities, where this is kind of the older version, only SSRS reports, and then you have the new version here. So much more capable. So let me do a quick demonstration of some of the capabilities here. So here under our Power BI reports, I've just written a quick one here, and some of our clients have started to write some pretty extensive Power BI applications. We have a curriculum, so if anyone's interested, we can take you through a curriculum on building Power BI dashboards and all the latest features. It's every month there's a new update for Power BI, and it's really becoming quite a rich ecosystem. You could do drill throughs, and there's a lot of stuff you can do here. So this is just a quick report that I've done here just in the last few minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll build a new one on the fly here just to show you how fast it is. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. It looks like the Power BI itself, you can't really zoom that much, but you can see here Power BI is very interactive. Right here I have encounters by month for last fiscal year. I can change this fiscal year to anything I want. Everything's tied together, so if I want to look at January of 2018, if I click on that, all my other filters change, and I get lots of mouse over information. 62,231 encounters in that month. Let's pick the next month here. And if you'll notice, I have a heat map here, and the heat map is encounters by service item. So it gives us our yearly breakdown of my service items. And as I click on my chart, it refreshes to show what percent in that month were those service items. So you can see that that's very interactive, and it goes both ways. I can click on day treatment, and then I can see the portion of my monthly encounters that were day treatment. How many were opioid methadone? How many were mental health case management, etc. So you can see the Power BI reports are very interactive, and they're very easy to build with the cubes, with the Pinnacle cubes. So, and those can be deployed very, very quickly. In fact, I was just going to go ahead and do one very quick for you now. I'm going to pull up the Power BI. This is the Power BI tool, the Power BI desktop tool. And this is the dashboard that I just had built and deployed. But I just want to do another one very quickly. So I'm just going to click on a new page.
Hey, Shawn, I think people are just wondering if there's any way to zoom in more.
Okay. Absolutely. Let's see.
And thanks for the feedback, guys. We may need to do something with our screen resolution for our next one, so we're learning. So thanks for your patience, everyone.
Okay, let me see what I can do here. View. I don't know. I may have to disconnect and then.
It may also be the screens folks are looking at, because it looks like some people are able to see it. So, I apologize if you're having trouble. We'll definitely correct it for the next time, and we may just need to go ahead and move forward. Thanks for the feedback, though, you guys. We'll get better and better at this. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. This tool is a little tricky. Let me do a quick.
This one, it's difficult to zoom in, but let me just do a quick dashboard here. And for those of you that are familiar with Power BI, you know, there's all kinds of custom visualizations. You can download dozens and dozens of new ones that are available at the Microsoft Marketplace. It seems like every week there's new visualizations coming out. Out of the box, they give you some standard ones here. Let's do a line chart. Let's see, where's my line chart? Yeah, let's just do a line chart. And I can pick those over here, over in the visualization area.
Oh, hey, Shawn, sorry to jump in one more time, but I just wanted to let people know that you might have a Zoom option on your GoToMeeting screen. So someone pointed out that that worked for them. Just throwing that out there for folks. Go ahead, Shawn, sorry.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's excellent. Okay. So I'm going to pick, let's just pick a line chart here. And if I select that, let me make that a little bit bigger. And I just want to look at provider hours. And so I'm connected up to my services cube. And I'm just going to come under here under service hours, and I'm going to look at, let's just pick provider hours, and see I get a single point because I don't have any date information yet. So I need to go down to my service date dimension, and I'm going to pick, let's just pick a calendar year this time. Let's see, we'll do service calendar year. You see, as we add that dimensionality, then all of a sudden we start getting some data back. Now that's a lot of data, so let's put in a filter. I'll click the filter control, and let's put the calendar year in that one, service calendar year, and you'll see that, oh, this is a fun little line filter, it looks like. And we can keep that. And actually I want to switch this one to the month. So I'm going to change that to service year month string. So we can kind of see that. And now I can change my filter. Actually, I don't want to use that filter. I want to use a different kind of filter. So it's easy to delete that, put in another filter in there. And let's put service fiscal year in there, or service calendar year. I think it'll let me change it here. I just want to do a drop down. And let's do 2017 as the calendar year. So you can see very quickly I can start building dashboards in Power BI. And then I can save this. Save as Power BI report server. I can say, let's see, this is going to be, what did I use here? Provider hours. They're kind of going down. That's not very good. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. Provider hours. Hit OK. Close. I'll jump back over to my Power BI report server. If I go home and refresh that, I'll now see that I have both of my Power BI reports there. So very fast, very easy to deploy reports with Power BI. And you can get very fancy. This is the sky's the limit with Power BI. It's a great tool. And you know, 10, 12 dashboards, you know, you can cover all of your important metrics, bring those up in a board meeting. It just looks really nice, the Power BI. The other thing that you can do through this portal are mobile reports, okay? And so I've just done a really simple mobile report here, and I'll pull this up. And this is optimized for a phone, so you can see that the layout is a little bit more condensed. And so, you know, here I've just done that same report, encounters by month. I can expand it out, so I can kind of make it like a desktop report if I want to. Encounters by cost center here, the max number of encounters per month, those sorts of things. And the tool that you use to build this is the Microsoft mobile report publisher. So here's this report, and I just brought in some encounters by cost center. I brought encounters by month, and you can design this in a grid fashion so that you could, if your phones have big screens or your tablets have big screens or small screens. And this is also a very rich tool with all kinds of data visualizations, and we're just starting to work on this, but we're hoping if any of you have any good ideas for some mobile reports, please send them our way, and we can use those as some test cases to build some mobile reports. But this is very, very exciting, and again, it's optimized for a mobile device. So again, these work great against the cubes. They can run against the regular data warehouse, run very, very fast on your system. So again, I don't have this on a phone, right? I could maybe show you this on a phone, but let's see, it will preview it. Let's see, it will preview it. Yeah, so it kind of just gives you of what it will kind of look like, and you could kind of picture that on your phone or your tablet. You can have, many, many different items, and this supports drill through and, all kinds of interactivity. So very powerful. So that's the mobile report capability in the new PowerBI report server. Very exciting tool. The next thing I wanted to look at were these KPIs. These are other things that you can deploy. Let me pull this one up. This is using that same data set that I was just utilizing. You can click on it, it'll expand it out. This, I'm using that same encounter data. So if I go to manage that, you can see there's lots of different configurations here that we can use. Right now I'm just using my encounters by month. I just built a simple data set for this. I don't have a goal, but I could build a goal into it. So if I have a goal of, if you planned out your year and you have a goal for a certain metric, say encounters per month, you can bring that in, and then it will compare the actual to the goal. You can set it, good, bad. You can have a status. So if last month is more than this month, you can turn it red. If this month is less than last year at the same time, you can modify all those things. You can look at the trend. So right now I'm using the sum of the encounters per month for the trend. I can change the visualization here. So if I change that, see, it gives you a little bit different view there.
Hey, Shawn, there was a question that came in. I just thought I would share with you in case you wanted to answer it. It was just talking about the mobile reports. The question was whether items due for clinicians on a current day could be a mobile report.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Hey, whoever sent that in, let's design that. Let's do it.
All right, I'll make a note of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That'd be a perfect one. That's a great idea. So that's the KPIs again. Come up with 5 or 6 KPIs that you want to track, and this would be an interesting one to talk about. So those are the KPIs. Again, kind of a little bit different. It's if you have a CEO or something and he may not want to run all these dashboards and reports, you could configure it so he'd come to this website, he or she would come to this website, and all they would see would be KPIs, right? They'd see 10 KPIs, and they could get a feel for how things are going, and she could, drill into it if she wanted to, or just, leave it at that and just monitor it from that level. So those are extremely powerful as well.
Oh, hey, Shawn, there was another question about whether there was a way to do notifications based on the reports that are dropping below or above thresholds.
Well, that's a good question. And yes, all of these can be subscribed to. So if we come into here, there's a My Subscriptions, and we're doing that. So we actually have reports that are going out as PDFs, that are going out as Excel files, as Word files. We have reports that are going out as just a data set within an email. So you can set up a wide range of notifications on any of this. So if something triggers, if something's due tomorrow, if something is overdue, absolutely, you can set all of these to alert individuals, and they can subscribe to them. That's a powerful function of this. So I'm glad you asked about that.
Okay.
All right.
And I think other
So now,
folks are sending in ideas about mobile reports, so I'll make a note of these
right
too
on.
for folks. So,
Great.
yeah, thanks everybody. Very cool.
Great. The other thing that has been greatly enhanced is, let me show you this. This is the older version. I'm just going to fire up the older version of Report Builder, so the 2014 Report Builder. And I'll just do a simple blank report here. And if we look at the gauges, for example, let's put a gauge in here. So you can kind of see, let me expand that. I mean, that looks really nice. That looks great. That's the gauges. That's an example of one of the gauges that you can use in Report Builder 2014. If we go to the new version, let's do a new paginated report. So let's look at the new Report Builder. This is the 2016 version of Report Builder. You can see it looks a little bit different. So let's do a blank report. It's now using, I think it's HTML5 exclusively, but let's go get a gauge. So you can see everything's kind of been updated. It's a little bit fancier, a little bit more modern looking. And in fact, the Power BI visualizations and the SQL reporting service visualizations are kind of blending together, and they're not going to replace one with the other. There's some things that Power BI is better for, and there's some things that SQL reporting services is better for, we believe. So they've updated both of them. They're both going to continue to be part of the Microsoft roadmap, but you can see they've updated these, and they're just kind of more modern looking. They've added a couple of new visualizations. They have a new one. It's called a sunburst chart in this one. I think it's right here. Sunburst, yeah. And they've also added a tree map, which is kind of a cool one. The sunburst is interesting because you can drill in on data. That's a pretty neat one. Let's see if we can pull it up on here. Looks like we've got to have data. Oh, there it is. So anyway, it kind of looks simple until you put your data in it, but it's very powerful, and these reports are widespread, and they're very, very powerful as well. And we do a full curriculum on all these as well. So if you want to do some training on reporting services, that's available as well. So you can see that's really been updated.
Shawn, there was a question back to Power BI. And thanks everyone for being patient. I'm doing my best to keep up on questions. But there was a question back about Power BI about within Power BI, does it have the capability to do sort of custom SQL things, like adding in special filters that are maybe agency specific, things like that, or like more complicated filtering? I think that sort of captured the question.
Absolutely. So let me start a new one here. Absolutely. So this is a very simple example. Let me do a new one here. So yes, absolutely. You can do custom SQL coding. We can do custom MDX, which is the language of the cubes. So we say get data here. We have tons of different data sources. If we go out to our cubes here and connect to them, you can see that we can either connect live. Let this come up here real quick for a second. We can either connect live or we can write custom scripts. We can also do R scripting. I don't know if anyone's familiar with R. That's kind of the new hot language for analysis, as well as Python. We can attach the Python scripts through the cubes and make that extremely powerful. So here we can import a query, we can connect live, or we can do a custom query. So yeah, to answer your question, absolutely, yep. It's very, very flexible as far as customization goes.
Okay, thanks, Shawn. I know you were kind of on to something else, but I wanted to make sure we answered that. Thank you.
Oh no, that's my pleasure. So Okay, let me jump back over here to Power BI. So we can do the paginated, so we can do the SQL reporting services reports, we can do KPIs, we can do Power BI, we can do mobile reports, all through one portal. And we can do Excel spreadsheets. So let's upload an Excel spreadsheet here. Let me see if I can find one here. Let's see. So you can build dashboards. So many of you who've been through our curriculum on Excel, you can build all those dashboards, and then you can also deploy those through here. I thought I might, oh, here's one. So you have now the ability to do your Excel dashboards. So I just have the Excel viewer here, but let me show you what that's going to look like. So now I have Excel workbooks. So you don't even have to email an Excel workbook. So, if some of our clients have, 20 and 30 spreadsheets that they've built out for their BI application, and they can just deploy them here. You don't have to email them out to anybody. You can just run them from here. So there we go. I mean, that's a very simple one, but you can see that it launches right into Excel if you have Excel on your desktop. So you can see that the capabilities of the reporting within the SQL Server world has really expanded. And we need to start thinking about applications for this. So if we have a report that we need to distribute out of the EHR, that's great. But you can see here that we can have a lot of content that people can have access to without ever having to go into the EHR. And really, this can become your one-stop shop for all of your BI data with all of these different tools. So with that, I mean, that's kind of the scope of it. Would anyone like to see anything else? To have me try anything else? Would they like me to go back and review any of these applications? Any questions I can answer?
And if you have a complicated question that you don't want to type into the text box, just let me know and I can unmute you. I just realized I should have offered that as an option as well.
And we'd be happy to work with anyone on any of these kind of things. There is some licensing to the Power BI report server. So, and there is a little bit to that. You can get it for free, and we can put it in as a development system. And you do get a 180-day trial for free. Plus, you can, if you're just going to be developing while you're developing, that's unlimited. You can have that for as long as you want when you're in development. When you decide to go live, there is a bit of a licensing requirement, but I don't think it's too extreme, especially considering what you get for it.
And Shawn, I thought we might want to remind people that at our next user group, Travis had volunteered to show people some Power BI stuff that he's been doing. So hopefully people can also make it to that. And we'll be recording that demo too, so people can see some of the applications people are using.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well we wanted to kind of keep this 30-40 minutes and kind of have this be the first of many, hopefully, webinars, and hopefully that your feedback will inform us as to what sort of things you want to see in the future. So any other questions, Ginger, from anyone?
I don't see any. I was going to say that our plan is to send out a short little I'll send out an email that says the video is posted, and I'll also maybe include in there just a reminder to let us know if you have topics or things you saw today that you would like us to do a little deeper dive into. We're going to be doing these monthly, so any feedback or details that you'd like to see that you think would be beneficial, we'd be happy to do that. So please feel free to reach out or give us a call or email us. Yeah, I think that's, oh, let me see here. Okay, yeah, I thought I saw another question come in, but I don't think so. Anyone have any other questions? Well, with that, we'll go ahead and conclude today's webinar. And like I said, we'll save this recording and we'll post it out there, and I'll let you guys know when it's there. And thanks everybody for attending. We really appreciate it. We're excited about getting to have these opportunities to talk to all of you guys together and get you guys to know each other. And we hope you guys are enjoying that too. And we will talk to you all soon.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks, you guys.